I'm here to talk to you about Australian history. And those are words that you're not often going to hear because most people think Australian history is boring as batshit. But I'm here to tell you that it's not. And don't just take my word for it. Take the words of Mark Twain, the greatest satirist and writer of the 19th century, who visited Australia in 1895. Australian history is so curious and strange that it is itself the chiefest novelty the country has to offer. It does not read like history, but like the most beautiful lies, and all of a fresh new sort. It is full of surprises and adventures and incongruities and incredibilities, but they are all true. They all happened. In communicating history, I take a leaf out of Twain's book and try and share those beautiful lies with an Australian audience to make them wonder about their past. Australia has a unique, fascinating, and dare I say it, frankly, bizarre history. We're a nation that was founded by a group of pickpocket sheep thieves and Irishmen dumped at the arse end of the world with a 6-to-1 male to female ratio and a monetary policy that involved having no money, where rum became the liquid currency of choice. Nowhere else in the world has had a history like that. There's a couple of stories from Australian history that I think sum up much of what it is to be Australian. The first is the Great Rum Rebellion of 1808, the only military coup in Australian history, where the soldiers marched on Governor Bligh in Government House. There were no weapons drawn. They played flutes and drums and they sang, and the only armed resistance came in the form of Bligh's daughter, Mary Putland, who stood at the gate of Government House and assaulted the soldiers with her parasol. So, France has got revolution and the death of a king and queen under the guillotine. America has the midnight ride of Paul Revere and the Declaration of Independence. Russia, revolution and millions dying in purges. And Australia has a bit of a sing-along and a crazy lady with a small paper umbrella. And I think that says a lot about who we are as people. The other story that really speaks to me is the naming of Canberra. Canberra was named in a public competition in 1913, with published entries including area and city, and a narrowly avoided case of grossly deceptive and misleading advertising, Climax. And if you've ever been to Canberra, you'll know that Canberra and Climax have nothing in common. The name that they came up with, Canberra, they believed came from the Aboriginal word of the Ngunnawal people, Ngambra, which they believed meant meeting place. It doesn't. It means breasts. Australians would have to be the only people in the world who would call their national capital tits. That's what I love about Australian history. So, if you want a speech that looks at something that's relevant to your industry or your business from a historical perspective, that combines humour and fact and a lively speaking style, then I've got the speech for you.